Did Miss Marvel episode 5 get this show train back on the tracks? Stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of Geek Variants. Brent, your casual Marvel fan, and our Marvel head, Will Parker. What did you think of this episode?
I think we're building up some more steam going forward now. This episode answered a few questions about the past backstory, and it did it in a relatively short amount of time. They were able to kind of get that backstory set up for the bracelet, which we've already got some allusion to with the symbol and the 10 rings and stuff like that, but we were able to kind of close out that chapter of, where the bracelet came from and how it got passed on and just carried on through. So I think they're charting well now for this episode in particular.
Yeah, I think the show is starting to get a little better. I think it would be absolutely marvelous, though, if you guys hit that subscribe button and became our 69th subscriber, which we all know beneficial to everyone. But this episode was significantly better than what we've been seeing, and I really, really like how they tied up the story. I can see why the critics were a little less critical of it than we were. They really enjoyed what they saw because they saw all the way to the end. So they knew that there was going to be this nice little twist in it, and like they conjoined everything beautifully. I actually may have been a bit harsh on this show when it first came out, but I mean, I'm still not going to recant. The first 3 episodes were slow, difficult to get into, and if you had such a beautiful wrap up like this for episode 5, it almost felt kind of like the finale. Was the weird part about everything because next week's the finale. Like we almost out of here, and we just now got our first episode where we're both actually satisfied with what's going on in the show to live up to the Marvel standard. So
Yeah.
kind of sucks. It took like, you know, 4 weeks, 5 weeks to get here, and we're just now getting something palatable, and the end is right next week. So,
I mean, I agree with you. It kind of felt like the finale, and that the last scene would have been like an end credit scene instead
right.
of the setup for the next. That's what it felt like. But we still got one episode left. I really want to see how they bring her around to continue on. I'm trying to some things that were a little trying to figure out, like mom was hardcore, like no, you gotta do this, you gotta act this way, so on and so forth. And she completely flipped the script, like you're the light girl, and she seemed to be more accepting, like almost immediately.
Even
And
though like nothing changed in her day to day, she spent like
I
20
think it
minutes
was
with her
mama.
mom. Like,
I
what?
think it's
What
mama.
is that?
Mama was like, "Yo, I've been trying to tell you," and she kind of had to. All right, mama, you got it, because that's how I be with mine. It was like, I told you, like, all right, I'm just gonna shut up, and you got it, ma. I thought I was right, and I was not. So I feel it. Definitely, brings it back home. But again, the setup, I don't like how the closing of the portal and that, like the whole rock skeleton drop off thing, I thought was kind of cheesy.
It, I feel like they were leaning into that PG rating very hard. That this is supposed to be very, very kid focused. We are not the target audience by any
Yeah, no,
means.
I
So
get
they
it.
wanted to hit that, but at the same time, I was like, we've seen darker Marvel deaths. Kids have seen darker Marvel deaths. We saw Spider Man get dusted. If we can see this happen, like, I'm not going to care about side character number C getting turned into a piece of rock. Like, I'm not losing any sleep over that, if you
Yeah,
will.
I'm not.
I
I
was
just
like,
thought it was funny.
it was just like, what did they just randomly figure out? 2 people are the max that the portal can eat before it closes, or just there's some other thing that they've encountered this before, so they know how to go about handling it better. Like, there was
Yeah.
no specifics for this. There was nothing given, no intimate details. She still knows very little of her power set or what it does. Her powers were useless against this thing. So, like, you guys still have to give me some more answers before I'm satisfied. But this episode was a much, much better quality episode overall than what we have been seeing or what we have been used to. And that's tough to say that Marvel has not given us something that we hold to a higher standard.
Yeah.
I've been very harsh on it.
I mean, I'm
But
still
this could finish very strong.
It could finish strong. I'm still going to continue to nitpick a few things. The whole you have your son, like she didn't care about her
all.
son throughout the whole thing. She's like, whatever, like we're trying to get to an
And
end
now
goal
she's
here.
crying, and I'm like, I'm
And yeah,
supposed
all
to
of a sudden
care.
you're crying about your son, and your goal is right there, and you feel that you can do it, and then you see your homegirl get turned into a rock, and then you're just like, I can close it. Like,
You're supposed to connect with your target audience, the viewers, and make us feel something. When that happened, I literally was just sitting here going, why do I care? What is this? What kind of emotional connection do you want from me? I got nothing.
yeah, I
It's
don't
like, I
care
don't
what
care if
age
she's
bracket you're
alive or
in.
dead. She's just blah.
It just felt so forced at that point. But again, like I said, the episode tone said it well. You see Kamala being a little bit more um
Of a
forceful and
hero.
assertive with her powers and stuff, and she's just like, yeah, this is what I am, try to protect people. So I like she's getting into it. So
It
uh
sucks that her mentor had to die, and he was the only one on the show who's given us any amount of answers about anything that's going on at all the entire show. And he was on one episode for 10 minutes, and then they killed him.
yeah, so now we got to figure out what's going to happen with Cameron and the whole red daggers, and like what's the angle at this point. Damage control still tracking people down using the Stark drones.
It's like, how do they get a hold of him? Why are they now in charge of these robots? Who's the evil mastermind of that? It's like,
Well,
there's these questions bring up more and more questions, and this show has not provided a lot of answers. So that's why we've been hypercritical of it. Is like, I understand this is supposed to be lighthearted and funny and feel good and maybe even a little campy, but you need to have some kind of foundation to build on. And it's like, you gave me this amazing culture I learned about, which is really awesome. But it's a Marvel property. I wanted some answers to anything going on about how this will connect to anything going on. And right now, I've got what exactly to work with.
I think we have small connections right now. So of course, seeing the symbol for the 10 rings connection, there's fairly other illusions and stuff too. She's enthralled with all the superheroes, but a lot of the shows now have been more standalone-ish as far as connecting. Like I said, we've seen Moon Knight, and
He was completely uninvolved with anything going on. He
there's
was out
subtle
here.
references to things, and every Marvel show that we've had this year is just been kind of like, okay, we're just kind of working, and then towards the end of last year, everything's still been, slight connections here and there. Hawkeye had a connection to the Black Widow movie. It's like, all right, cool. He's running around New York as well. We don't see Spider-Man like that. Loki had a connection to Spider-Man and stuff with the portal rift, and that was referenced. So it's connections here and there. And Multiverse of Madness had the big connection between Wanda and all of this stuff going on, all the like, so that was the biggest connections and stuff. But from what I've heard, we're gonna go see Thor here soon. Thor supposedly doesn't have a big overarching connection either. So I'm just trying to see where they're going or what they're trying to set up for. Or are they just putting pieces on the board and they're going to put it all together at some point? So is it like, okay, we got
a lot like the Avengers build up again?
Yeah, so I think this kind of what's going on. We're just putting pieces on the board and they're gonna get connected somewhere. I think probably Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania is gonna be the big connecting piece for this.
God, if Kang is not in that, I will be so depressed.
He's got to be in that. I think he was on some of the crew T-shirts seen in like a little leak. It was Ant-Man helmet kind of cracked, but Kang's face was in it or something like that. So
because he did such a damn good job when he was in Loki, he owned every second of that scene,
Oh, yeah.
and I was so happy to see that he was the main focus for Loki season 2. Which, come on, geek variants, let's go.
So,
We'll have our Thor: Love and Thunder review up fairly quickly, so stay tuned, guys. We're not going to leave you all hanging on that.
yep. So, but other than that, I mean, I said we're doing good. Let's just kind of wait and see what the next episode holds. We just saw a little kind of allusion to her symbol that she'll put on there with the little necklace thing. So maybe we'll get the costume somewhere in the middle or towards the end of the episode, and maybe even a cameo appearance from some Marvel hero. I don't know who it could
Captain
be.
Marvel, it's got to be. I'm calling that out now.
We'll see.
We're going to see Brie Larson back, and we'll be like, great. It's like she's super powerful, but the actress has given us a blasé performance. The actress who played her in Multiverse of Madness nailed that role. Much happy with her performance overall. But hey, it is what it is. If you guys agree with what we said, hit that like button. If you guys have something to disagree with, usually something I say, leave it in the comments. Tell me I'm wrong. That usually means you, Tony, you and your bald ass. You have to watch this video to get there. We'll see you when you get there, buddy. Anyway, hit that lovely subscribe button.
Shenanigans.
All of the shenanigans. You want to take it away?
All right. Well, so stay tuned for Love and Thunder. We will get that review out, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
I ain't your holler back girl. Got your back, Tony. You're welcome.